In today's lesson, we're going to talk about the Worth Quadrant by owning your self-worth. And we're going to use the Worth Quadrant in the next lesson as well. Now, what is the Worth Quadrant? Well, I've developed this quadrant and you can see it in your workbook, or if you're just listening to this, just imagine a square with four squares in between. On the bottom, you have your self-worth and it's going from low to high. Whereas on the vertical axis, we have other worth from low to high. Today we're going to talk about the self-worth component. And tomorrow in the next lesson, we will all put it together. Let's say that you have low self-worth, and what is it going to lead you? People with low self-worth, they're often in low paying jobs. They're surviving. They work hard for nothing. And as a result of having low self-worth, you're also going to have a low net worth. You're going to have low salary. You're not going to ask for pay rises. And you probably live paycheck to paycheck and you have nothing to show for it. You're really altruistic. You want to do more for others because you don't feel worthy. On the other hand, we have high self-worth. People with a high self-worth, they work hard, they get paid accordingly because they ask for it. They feel worthy and they're also thriving and they make great progress in their career. And as a result of having a high paycheck and they save a lot because they feel worthy, they have a high net worth as well. So it's really important that you want to be on that side of the square, having a high self-worth, because this is the number one thing that keeps people stuck. Low self-worth, low self-esteem, that stops people from taking action and for going for pay rises. How do you do this? How do you increase your self-worth? The first thing that you must do is to pay yourself first. Most poor people, they pay themselves last. They pay their bills, they pay food, they pay entertainment. And then if there's something left, which is often not very much, they save a little bit. But you need to change it the other way around. Pay yourself first and do it automatically. Whenever I get money coming in, 10% automatically goes to my account. Even though both accounts are mine, the second one is really mine. I'm not going to pay anything for it. It's for me, it's to grow because I value myself. I am worthy and so are you. So pay yourself first. Rich people pay themselves first. Poor people pay themselves last. And it doesn't matter with what you start. When I was addicted to drugs, I started this program. So if I can do it, being addicted to drugs, you can do it as well. The second thing that will help you to raise your self-worth is to remove guilt and shame. Many people, they have events in their life that they feel deeply guilty and shameful about. And the more events you have like that, the lower your self-worth is going to be. But guilt and shame is actually an illusion. Every single event in your life serves, whether you believe it or not. It's the truth. So it doesn't really have any positive advantage to you to hang on to that guilt or shame. And I know many parents out there that say to their kids, you should be so ashamed of yourself. You're so stupid or so silly. And many kids take on that shame and guilt, and as a result, they have low self-worth and low self-esteem. How do you do with this? Ask yourself these questions. So the first one is, what do you feel guilt and shamed about? Is it something that you did to someone? Did you punch someone? Did you steal something? Like, whatever happened, be specific about that moment. The second question you ask yourself, how did that serve you? Well, it didn't serve me. I stole something. It was bad. But how did it serve you? Maybe it actually helped you to become a better person, to not steal anymore in the future because you saw the damage that it did to someone. So as a result, now the rest of your life, you're more of a person of integrity. Keep asking yourself that question until you realize that, there's not just guilt and shame, all the negativity, but there's also positive things that you got out of that. So keep asking yourself that until both of them are equal and you don't feel as negative and guilty and shameful about that event anymore. And the last question, how did that event serve others and the greater good? Because it always serves. Keep asking these questions for every event, and maybe you do like one a week, or maybe something pops up and you make a list. The more you clear your past, the more you are ready to get pay rises, to own your career, and take back control of your life. You have to know that you are worthy, you are enough. And Marissa Peer talks about this, right on the mirror. I am enough because you are enough. You came on this planet as a little baby. Like, you don't went like, oh, I'm not good enough. As a little baby, you're like, I'm good enough. Yeah. You didn't think that, but you didn't think like you weren't good enough. You were crying and expecting things from your parents to look after you. You had that self-worth. But over the years, because of this guilt and shame, it's depleted in many people's situations, especially people who are not doing well financially. Tomorrow, or in the next lesson, we're going to talk about the vertical axis, the other worth. So see you in the next lesson. Make sure you watch both of them to put them together.